Our journey through Wildcard continues with two 1-0 teams, Oxygen versus Complexity. Complexity had an easy 4-0 yesterday. Oxygen with some trouble against Power, but they made it through.
Yeah, and that definitely was a statement to be made for Oxygen. Their ability to get through a team that looked, quite honestly, like one of the best teams here. Power played out of their mind. The only issue for me personally, Jordan, was just their execution. They couldn't find the shots, weren't hitting their marks. They'd work so hard to generate chances. And for Oxygen up against Complexity, that's not going to be the case. Complexity is a team that hits their shots. You give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. So this should be a much more difficult series. And that's my opinion of why the desk was mostly favoring Complexity. You have to give them the edge in this one.
And Joy is right before the series, he had tweeted out, my face when I can't hit a flip reset as soon as I switch to the stage PC, and you're thinking, uh-oh.
Yeah.
But Notorious, he's looking okay here at the start.
He's been pretty vocal on the timeline, also talking about how he felt like a brick after the series yesterday. Meanwhile, somebody who definitely wasn't a brick on Oxygen was Archie. This man was the opportunity generator for Oxygen. Every single play he was going for a solo play, somehow trying to create space, outplay one opponent. Several times, it felt like 80% of the time he'd go up for one of those solo plays, he'd create space, and he's going to need to do exactly that against Complexity in this series.
You know, continuing to talk about Oxygen, that series against Power. Power definitely left a lot on the table. Des kind of talked about it a little bit. Stumpy even saying that he thought just Power threw that series more than Oxygen won it. I don't know if I completely agree, but I do tend to lean that way with, you know, when we were reviewing it before this match started, we saw a lot of those opportunities left, and we know that Complexity, they're not going to give that same kind of leeway that Power did. Case in point, Raisebowl gets the first goal.
And this one started out from the corner. We had Ixo getting a good challenge, but the ball trickled right in front of CRR's car, who controlled it effortlessly. And a nice little toss in the midfield. That's a great way to start things out. And something more expected from Complexity. It was situations like that that Power were able to build on, and were able to create, but the striking wasn't connecting. Meanwhile, for Complexity, they've already got 4 shots and a goal.
Oh, a little bit of trouble for CRR, and Archie finds the cap. Oxygen wastes no time.
This is a great way to respond to Oxygen fighting back, getting involved early. Ixo, he had just made the mistake in the corner on the other side of the field. Now he comes out generating in that one.
Complexity right off that kickoff, just couldn't get back to the ball. For Complexity though, you know, they know that they feel like a main event team. Wildcard just feels like another step on the journey for them. And you talk to them like in the lobbies and the elevators, and I mean, they just ooze that chill confidence. You know, Raisebowl, I don't think the dude ever looks upset whenever I end up talking to him. And AJG, talking to him in the elevator, he's just saying, yeah, I feel really confident. You heard CRR in the pregame interview with Veracity say, yeah, I feel confident 4-0.
We've already beat them, and they had Rise.
And
whenever we did beat them, and that was lovely to hear. I love hearing the confidence as well from Archie. The 1800 MMR2's grind paying off, of course, in this series. But
I don't know what he's saying there.
Jordan, you know who my favorite player is, though, right now, at least to watch? It has been Raisebowl. This man can pop off at any given moment, but he's so selective as to when he pushes forward, which makes it that much more fun to watch, because you never know when he's going to go for that solo play.
It's almost like he's charging the battery. Like, he won't go for every opportunity. He'll be there to make you look at him, but then he'll just take your boost. He'll be around in the area. He'll pull off, make you give up the ball. Even just his presence is going to force the defense to give up that ball. But then, like you said, his explosiveness, it's really one of the best in RLCS. Oxygen, though, they've been hanging on to this midfield, tenuous control. AJG gets a little bit of space with no boost as Complexity move downfield.
A bit eager to get rid of the ball, too, is AJG. Not sure what they're trying to build on offense right now. Maybe some tester backward hits, hoping Oxygen will not get the perfect touch. That's a booming clear down the other side. Archie's already off the ceiling, early to get on the other side, and Archie bumps him out. This has been a fantastic sequence of events. Oxygen connecting all of the strings.
Archie doing everything on this play, and also great touch from Joria's. Archie's first touch he sees, that side of the net where he was covered. Send it to the right side. Then all Joria's has to do, Archie got both Complexity players to bite to the right side of the net. Joria's easy touch to the left. Archie turns right around, puts the ball right in the net. And that's been literally the Oxygen MO. Let Archie work and then get the ball in the net. It works again here for them, about a minute left.
Give Archie the space, and he will put in some work and create some damage on the defensive side. Here he comes again, looking to get a shot. AJG stuffed him. Jorius wants to fire the cannon, doesn't get behind it. Looking for maybe a wave dash, maybe a flip reset. Ixo back and forth with this air dribble, but it's just been stuck in the complexity half. Hammering shots, and Oxygen finds another.
How does this one get through for Oxygen? Ixo lets it go. CRR just gets dunked. You see Razebull has to wait, and that's a tough spot to be for Razebull. But CRR on that challenge just completely beat on the play. He needed to buy more time for Razebull. Could not get it done, got dunked.
And it's crucial to see Jorius involved in this series, in this first game on offense, getting that goal, striking it well. Because if Archie's playing to this peak performance that we've seen all wildcards so far, and Jorius matches, I mean, Oxygen could be an immovable force, Jorby.
Oh, kick it really hard for Oxygen. Playing with time on their side now. Complexity trying to hurry it up. CRR on the catch. Got the freeze, but gets bumped off the play. And Archie freezes it, trying to waste time. Complexity a short touch, but can't get the ball connecting with another Complexity player. Looks like game one just may be Oxygen.
Unless?
Maybe they get one with time, but no, that one breaks down. And a great start for Archie and Oxygen here.
And it's been surprising to see this level of confidence out of their offense. The transitions all there for Oxygen as the ball does hit the ground. Game one, huge performance from everybody here. And you got Snasky in the background, the nerves, feeling confident. And they just honestly abused Complexity on the defensive side. Several shots going in favor of Oxygen. And the opportunities kept presenting themselves.
Complexity just couldn't really get any favorable 50s. Couldn't take advantage of their positioning. That was the best look that they had. You had CRR opening it up, Razebull closing it down. A tried and true method. And Archie, the whole way back before that play, by the way, he was sitting up on the ceiling, coming down for the pass, and then had the recognition for where Complexity was sitting on defense. Archie's vision right now is perfect against Complexity. If he keeps this up, Complexity might be in trouble.
And it reminds me a little bit of the first squad that we got out of Oxygen, where a lot of times I'd see this crazy level of confidence from all three players on that initial roster, and that's kind of bled into this one. You see Archie, he's got trust, he's got confidence in his teammates' ability to clear the ball forward. You don't go for a risky play like that if you aren't assuming your teammates have what it takes to get that ball to you and have the perfect touch, the perfect clear down the other side. And this player, 83% goal participation against Power, 1 goal per game. He's coming out with similar stats. Archie has been a monster in the wild card.
And something else to just respect about Archie is it really doesn't matter how he's performing overall. Whenever you talk to him,
here he is again.
He's just got cool confidence. And when you're playing like this, you can understand why. Now, this one opened up nicely by Jorius. You still need the placement. He split the gap. AJG expecting CRR to play that across. CRR was playing, though, it looked like he was playing for AJG's touch because he was playing far out to the side, and Archie just split the gap.
This is the ultimate threat. All of the Infinity Stones are coming together for Oxygen. It's Jorius and Archie. Those two connecting is really where this team is terrifying to play against. You've got one player who can always open up space, which is Jorius, and Archie is hitting every single mark, also getting demos off the ball. What more do you want from these two players? And Ixo can fill the gaps and not overextend. And also on the way back, this man is doing a lot of damage. This has been a 3-player effort, Jorby.
AJG able to fish that ball back out to the corner. Razebull, a bit of an awkward spot. Car orientation, not ideal. Ixo just getting in the way, seeing if they can get Complexity to panic. AJG gets it back to Razebull.
Took the boost.
Can they keep the pressure up? Like the idea with the soft touch, gets the bump on Archie. Oh no, AJG gets the 50, but look how deep Razebull was playing. He did not have belief there. Complexity were in full retreat. And the Oxygen just get control of the ball. What looked like what should have been a Complexity possession just died in the midfield. As Razebull left, the Complexity rotation just loosened up, and they're typically playing so tight, so fast, but They don't have the confidence right now. ZRR is trying to get that energy back up. He gets a goal for Complexity.
And this play will surely build the confidence if it wasn't already there. RazeBull off the ceiling. And you'll notice that kind of worked as a fake. RazeBull could have gone for the double tap off the ceiling, but left the ball for the striker, for CRR to come through. And it worked out as a fake. As the defense, you have to respect RazeBull behind the ball and give them that space.
How many times has El Toro just double tapped it into your net? How about CRR on the flip reset, but taken away. And Archie, a high save.
Passed over.
AJG back to RazeBull, but cut off.
He's gonna get the goal.
Free ball, but RazeBull gets back to it just in time. Complexity, when it looks like they might lose it again, they're just hanging on the defensive line. CRR gets caught on the post. Dangerous opportunity. Nobody has boost on Complexity's end, and Ixo punishes.
Continuously pressing against the goal line of Complexity. One pinched out over to Archie, who drops it back in flawlessly for Ixo. And that might be one of the easiest shots he's going to get all game long, just crashing the net.
Well, the desk went unanimous in their vote for Complexity. You and I talking before, we were both thinking...
I gave them the edge.
I mean, how could you not with how Complexity have played this season, and you've watched all three of these players be the best player on their team at times, where it doesn't look like more than 4 teams in the world could beat them. But here are Oxygen, who have had, I mean, as many struggles as most teams in the RLCS. But there's something about the Swiss stage and this team, and right now holding on to this lead with about half the game left to go on Forbidden Temple.
But you do have to remember, Jorby, all best of 7s in this Swiss stage, and there's plenty of time for this blue roster to get going. And here they come with RazeBull.
Getting another one. Jory is trying to turn quick, and you saw the double commit from Archie trying to get it. Just a slight miscomm there. Archie just hoping he could get to that ball quickly, realizing that someone had to get to that. I don't think he believed Joreas was going to get the touch, so he tried to make up for it, ended up running into his teammate. Complexity punish.
And hopefully that doesn't shatter the confidence that Oxygen have had in each other since game 1. Little communication errors can make you a little bit more passive in your rotation. That's not what you want to see from Oxygen, as Archie looks to carry it a little bit deeper down the other side. Complexity have found ways to at least hold on to more possession, and they certainly have needed it because so far it's been only Oxygen.
AJG tried to catch it. Now RazeBull didn't have boost. He did get pushed down to the ground by Oxygen. I don't know if he actually puts that on target.
More.
Here comes AJG again, but 2 Oxygen players in the air to meet him. RazeBull, a lot of boost, thinking about it. Across the box. Joreas is not going to make it easy there for Complexity. CRR protects the boost. And a good idea to generate space, but better counter from Ixo to demo him. Now, can he get the pass? Actually goes in. Oh, that might have worked, but they get out.
Not the best idea from Ixo. Wanted to use a bit of a mind game to get that ball out into the midfield, but here he is again from the backboard. Good pinch across. CRR found a connection, but immediately stuffed out. This comes down to how well Oxygen can read these plays, winning 50-50s. They also nab their own corner boost, but it's still trickling out into the midfield. 2 players in net. One gets bumped, and the follow-up is there. RazeBull makes it 3-2.
Oh man, Complexity really tripped Oxygen up on this entire possession. You saw like 4 touches in a row. A quick approach, immediate stutter step. It got Oxygen to bite on the 50 early, puts them out of position, and Turtle. How about it? It looked like Oxygen were going to roll through 2 games, but Complexity, the last minute, has belonged to them.
It looks like Complexity have shifted their purpose in this game. They're not trying as hard to outpace or out-mechanic Oxygen, but instead make them uncomfortable with physical aggression, Jorby, getting bumps, going for demos, being in awkward spots that Oxygen wouldn't expect them to be in. And even no longer a game of just a 1v1 play in the air.
And even trying to outsmart them with those slow plays as well. Complexity pulling every trick out of the bag. And they're going to force Oxygen to have to play their best.
Good first touch. HAG.
Again, just force the 50. Stop the play. And Oxygen, that's not how they want to play. You think about Archie, you think about explosion. Wants to be able to get that quick attack. The more Complexity slow it down, do Oxygen get more uncomfortable. HAG back to CRR. A little light touch, but saved.
They definitely have that explosiveness that can come out at any given moment. 11 seconds is more than enough time, and it's going to be Joreas behind it.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that stage PC for him anymore. Gets a nice touch. He really just flowed right through HAG and bumps RazeBull out of the way. How about that for Oxygen?
We also got Ixo crashing the net. He didn't get a physical touch on the goalkeeper, but just being there, applying that pressure, making the defense shake, and we're back to all tied up on both sides. CRR, a good 50-50, could have squeezed it out to the striker, but into OT, Jorby.
This might be an indicator of how the rest of this series goes. Oxygen, great start. Can they get back? Glorious tried to get him back in position. Ixo going for the dunk. Raisebolt gets there in time. Archie trying to find a way to buy time for Oxygen. He's done it. Jorius gets a full tank. Ixo just looking complexity off the other way.
That's good speed.
Now they're winning the touches in the corner. Jorius, ooh, just missed it. He had Archie on the wing. Still, Archie's gonna get a little bit of value. CRR breaks the mold for complexity.
A little reminiscent there of our series yesterday with players like KB1, Jorby, cutting rotation. We saw that out of Jorius pushing forward, and then on his way back, he cut in immediately. He didn't get a touch on it, but it looks threatening. It looks lethal, and so does Ixo behind the ball, but just barely lost possession.
Raisebolt and AJG combining powers. Can they stay on this offensive half? A big whiff! And the shot right into Jorius. That was not going to get it done for complexity. Now Jorius slowing it down. Can he get another bump? AJG slips out from underneath him. Ixo, though, trades it right back. We're trading blows in midfield. Raisebolt getting a nice little catch. Complexity, though, they can't break out quite yet. Archie's not going to let him. Raisebolt up again. Jorius waits in the midfield. Oh, nice little chip back to Ixo. What's Ixo got? He leaves it to Archie. Love the design here from Oxygen, but that complexity defense holding CRR's there again.
That's even better vision from CRR to understand that they might be going for a fake. Be patient off the backboard. AJG headhunting, looking for Jorius, didn't jump up to find him. They don't want to be that risky with their extension, getting too aggressive. Neither team wants to push far forward and take that risk, hoping to find some mistake on the defensive side.
Jorius is happy his teammate got a hand on, or a wheel on that one, if you will. But I had to make a big save. Still complexity. Knocking at the door.
Archie.
AJG.
Gotta find it.
Oh, Archie keeps it locked. And Jorius makes sure they get off the porch. CRR trying to delay. They get complexity some boost. AJG and Raisebolt got a lot of it. But Archie's off the ceiling. Through one. Raisebult's got to protect this ball because Ixo's waiting for it. And Raisebolt denied by Ixo. Jorius steals the ball. That's Oxygen again, preventing the counterattack.
It looks like both teams are trying to see who can get the craziest save right now from the backboard. It's required a lot of patience, not being too eager to go for the challenge. But Ixo isn't on the backboard this time. Tries to backflip and save himself, but he's way too pushed up, Jorby.
Oh, there was some awkward moments, and he does. He drives forward and has to flip back to recover. And it's just too much. You can't get caught creeping out of net in a tight situation like that. Complexity steal game 2.
And you immediately see Complexity talking to after that game about what they just witnessed, trying to download Oxygen, who were in the driver's seat what felt like most of that game. And I'd say the series so far, it's been Complexity having to battle back and fight tooth and nail, Jorby, to even get a point, to even get a goal.
I really loved how Oxygen were moving the ball in the midfield, though. That play where Jorius, how many times does Jorius just get the pop-up, go for the air dribble? Complexity expected, but instead, he just keeps his car on the ground, pass to Ixo, and then Ixo setting up the play to Archie. Like, I loved that play from Oxygen. Not something I've seen from them really in a while.
And we've also got multiple lanes here as we look at that Mobile One high-performance replay that Jorius could take. It's not just the solo plays that we've gotten to witness out of him, but it's also the passes out to his teammates. But this time, I don't think they were lacking in any area on the offense. It just came down to that final rotation from Ixo, pushing too forward. Everybody was on the backboard, finding perfect touches, and I even expected Ixo to rotate to the backboard in that instance, but instead, trickled too far out, Jorby.
It's a little too far out. Full faith in your teammate to win that challenge effectively. Now you've got Complexity a game win in the series. Does that help their comfort level? See Raisebolt, he loves to shout when they score and get that energy going on the Complexity death line. Oxygen gonna try to keep them quiet headed into game 3. Complexity also were moving the ball around well, namely CRR. And he's the guy who always does that on Complexity. High positional IQ, and really does a great job. You talked about it earlier, recognizing that potential fakes are there, positions accordingly, and really helps just keep that complexity rotation stable.
Well, it's all about the vision on the field, understanding what your teammates are trying to do, their intention behind the ball. And I think it's been more predictable from Oxygen. I mean, right now you've just got Joreuz to deal with, which, you know, that alone is a scary sentence, but he's just a bit too linear. Going for a solo dribble, here he comes again, crashing for a 50-50. Complexity have no trouble dealing with that and can easily bury themselves out.
Ixo playing the 50, actually gets underneath, but again, CRR sees Ixo, but he gets crashed in by Archie. And oh, the whifty-whifty! That was the widest whifty-whifty I've seen. And it's saved again! Complexity, Raiseful, hard clear out downfield, but Archie had rotated, and he gets a solid first touch off the ceiling, not gonna get anything out of it.
It's getting messy on the pitch. And even Oxygen didn't expect that out of Complexity. Nobody was there for the shot. The demo comes through, and Joreuz popping up on our screens once again.
Once again for sure, but it's Ixo who opens up the space, smokes CRR on the goal line. And what can you do if your CRR just try to react? Not the position you want to be in. Great design, or great execution by Ixo.
Sometimes the easiest place just to incinerate the enemy team. And another whifty-whifty. Complexity have not had the best of mechanics throughout Game 3 in the first half. Ooh. But they're finding good passing connections. The lane was open, and now the speed is there. AJG, he strikes back.
That was a fast pass. You saw Ixo. Not a bad idea to go and challenge that. It's Archie who turns around, and the awareness goes down in that moment. You have Complexity bearing down. Archie's got to go back towards net. You got to defend the line. There's nobody behind you in that situation. So again, it's Oxygen. A possibly preventable situation where they turn upfield, they get scored on.
It feels like they're beating themselves right now at this moment with their positioning on defense. Ooh. The way they rotate out. Like I said before, coming into this game, no problems with their offense. They've got it all calculated, everybody on the same page, even when they're going for bumps. And Ixo has been getting more and more involved. Here he is again looking for a physical play to open up a lane. But it comes down to their defense. That's where things are shaky, Jorby. Two players might be going for the same ball. Not sure how to align themselves approaching this Complexity squad. It's all been a bit scrambled.
Nice catch from Raiseful, then he leaves it. Raiseful tends to do that on the ball if he doesn't feel like he gets the cleanest play, but it ends up working out so often for Complexity. No one was ready for it that time.
It does feel like it's been more chaotic in Game 3, much less organized, and everybody trying to outpace each other in this game. It's led to quite the awkward few opportunities for both sides. Here's another demo attempt from the defense to bump Archie out of the way. Just take out the striker. Won't get the demo, but at least alleviates a little bit of pressure.
Oh, Ixo leaving it again for Archie. You talked about him getting more involved. He's been gap filling in the entire series so far, but also puts on some threatening ones. That one, though, was from Archie. Still, Ixo's helping to facilitate these shots right now. They gotta be a little careful, though. Another double commit. Of course, allows CRR some space. You see AJG right there, not gonna give Oxygen much space. CRR not going to either. Raiseful gonna play deep, seeing the big clear coming. Joreuz goes for the bump, no chance. Even AJG getting chipped, is it enough? He gets the pass to CRR, connects clean.
He's gonna lay on the backboard.
Lands quick, Raiseful's there! Shot on! No, it's off the post! Now Oxygen on the counter. Archie denied.
I'm not gonna lie, I came into the series, I said, you know, this isn't power. They're gonna find their shots, they're gonna hit their mark. And that is not what we've witnessed so far for Complexity. That pass out was picturesque, perfect, as could be. And another one, missed for CRR. Where is the striking?
But he saw Joreuz. He knew he had to put it high. Joreuz
maybe in the goal you put it high, that's
that.
still gotta be on target,
You're right, CRR is the type of player who should still sink it.
You expect that from
him. But you know he's right there. You don't want to give Joreuz also just a free clear and transition out, right?
I don't know. If you hit that ball hard enough, it's a shot on target. There's no way he's controlling it with a clear. You take the risk and at least try and squeeze it in.
I'm with you. This has been a tough series so far. Oxygen, a couple of mistakes. One cost them a game. One cost them a goal this game.
And this is why I love these international matchups. I truly didn't expect it to play out in this fashion. I thought we'd see more defense out of Oxygen, a little bit more stable too with their rotations, but it's been messy, Jorby.
has been messy. There's been a lot of nuance underneath as well. Ixo with an attempted double defended. Oh, Complexity just so fast to get that follow-up.
Here we go. Final 8 seconds. Maybe we get an OT unless one team can change the tides quickly. That's a perfect bounce. Almost leads up into Jorius, and it will hit the ground. Back into overtime.
Overtime again. Complexity off the kickoff. They get deleted. Ixo gets a little bit of time, but he doesn't have boost. Just got to play the 50, and he does. Now Archie just kicked that ball away. CRR was ready for it. He gets by another. Does he get more? He gets a demo. He gets some boost. Complexity get to play some more offense, but AJG, Braceball's on the far side. CRR covers it up. When it looks like Complexity are starting to get the drive going, somehow Oxygen find a way to get a little wrench in there. Now Joria's going again. Flip reset working for him. Ixo crashing the box. Oh, it bounces right over Archie.
AJG.
Oxygen in trouble, and no one can get there. AJG punishes another game win for Complexity.
The ground pitch to the other side. Oh, it did also have an orange trail on it. I was trying to understand how that even happened. I think Ixo might have gotten a piece on it as it slingshots to the other side of the field for a free shot on target out of AJG.
Oh man, it's hard to even it's hard to even point at Archie. We talk about the mistakes that they made. I mean, Archie, you're seeing that one develop. You don't expect that to pitch, especially with an orange trail just right over your head, right? That's tough.
But it felt like that's how this game should have ended earlier, with the misses from Complexity, who were tripping at the finish line, similar to that of Power. Something about this Oxygen defense, teams start to fold a bit when they get behind the ball to take a shot.
Like 90% of the time, it looks good. They buy space with their mechanics.
Yeah.
They're able to get clears.
Look at this turn from Archie.
Oh yeah, that turn was rough. I think Archie was thinking. I think he knew that Complexity were bearing down. He probably thought he was fast enough just to get up and take the challenge instead of having to try to jump and predict a save. But
I mean,
still, turning around there, that's rough.
It's a very interesting
in a game
series.
like this, right?
Right? Doesn't this series feel? I don't know how to explain it. It's slower than I thought it would be. I think
there's a lot of thought. There's a lot of thought going on.
Exactly. There's a lot of strategy getting involved here, where each team has had to make significant changes at the snap of their fingers. One team could get a little bit more aggressive. The other starts folding on defense, slipping back. But then mechanical issues come out. One learns how to take advantage. It's just been a back and forth game. Not one has gotten a firm grip on how to read the play and understanding how things are developing. Maybe that changes in game 4, but right now it's up to Oxygen to get back into this series and even the scoreline.
The longer Oxygen spend on defense, the more panic they were getting. Now CRR lays one up. El Toro puts it up high. A little awkward, but the layers are there for Oxygen. Still there's space for CRR. Just a reload for the Bull. Probably not the touch he wants. He's still able to get some value. A demo and retains possession. AJG over another one. Comes across, he wanted it himself. CRR playing that tight support. Jory is trying to get it downfield. He doesn't have boost. And CRR gave it up again, saved again. I love that idea from Jorius though. Stay near the ball. Maybe catch CRR out. He almost did, but it wasn't enough. And they almost get it. Complexity Raiseball crashed it. Just couldn't find the net.
Looks like these counterattacks might be the catalyst for Oxygen to make their mark in game 4. They've dealt with most of the pressure in the first minute. They had the best looks on net with big counterattacks, finding clears down the other side. Then it leads into a dribble. That's what happened with Jorius, as he's the man behind the ball. Double commit. Archie wants to set up Ixo, drop it in the midfield, but CRR bails out his teammates, saves them, and continues moving forward with a 50-50 win.
There's just no panic at CRR's approach. No boost that whole time, got the progression. The last one, he swings down, centers up on the ball, challenges it perfectly. They don't stay on the orange for long, but that is part of what makes Complexity so difficult to deal with.
And he's also been the player on the backboard most of the time. I mean, look at his positioning right now. He's on the backboard, waiting patiently. Ixo just hands it to him. CRR has been the backbone for Complexity's defense.
Oxygen trying to find a way out of the orange as Complexity continue to plod forward. AJG gets bumped out of the way. CRR, basically wins that 50. Raiseball turns around, gets the mid boost. Again, they're getting bumped out of the way. It's preventing them from following up in any kind of efficient way. But credit where credit is due, they've at least kept the ball out of the net for now.
And right now, this feels like a situation similar to that of Space Station Gaming that we were talking about yesterday, Jorby. Hoxer is kind of finding the same role that CRR is playing in this series. That third man is so crucial. Maybe if Oxygen can prioritize taking him out or putting him in more uncomfortable situations, that could lead to more opportunities.
This game is all about controlling the ball. If they can, if they have the boost to, they want to control it in Oxygen. The rotation just a little too loose for Jorius to find a way in. But he's got to play the safe angle because he sees how well the net's covered. Oxygen just didn't do enough work. They got to build more pressure on this Complexity net. But AJG's going to make that difficult.
It also looked like Oxygen wanted a bit of luck on their side with the pinches off the crossbar, back out into Raise Bull. Quick on their feet, Ixo dives in front of it.
Complexity trying to catch him out. CRR off the ceiling. Denied easily by Ixo now. Oxygen.
He's got a dribble.
They have something here. Archie on the wing. Comes straight out. Jorius comes beyond the midfield. Pot shot. Safe for now. AJG covers that up. Layers for Complexity. Holding firm. Oxygen trying to peel away at that Complexity line. Jorius, another catch. Not a lot of boost for Power. You saw the hurry up there. They just can't hold on to this ball again. Raise Bull getting down on it. Got the bump. Shot not good enough. Jorius follows it. I start getting worried for Oxygen. You know, the longer Complexity have possession. Here comes Raise Bull, but it's taken away by Jorius. Another pop in front of the box. Saved again. Oxygen, they don't care. They will dive as fast as they can across the box. Now AJG freezes them with a reset, with another touch. And Raise Bull gets another free space off the wall. El Toro sets it up. And AJG, you see him lurking, but Archie's got the back wall cleared. And Oxygen get out again.
Down the other side, Raise Bull went up for that fake, but instead just played the clear. Nice dribble attempt from Archie, completely stuffed on that 50-50. And at this moment, who can take out that final player? Who can create the mistake? 30 seconds, still scoreless. Not once he can get that first goal off the post. Follow up again, it's the same spot, but this time it's rolling in.
He'll hit it once, but he'll score it on the second. Archie had to put it that far. AJG, his coverage has been so good that it had to be off target for that ball to go in.
If that was on target, it's getting saved, it's getting cleared out. Almost a blessing in disguise for Archie to miss the first shot.
And that post bounce right back towards him. Oxygen. Do they tie the series back up? 15 seconds to hold on to the lead. Complexity. Can't get a hold of the ball just yet. Jorius puts it across, but transition. JG downfield. CRR couldn't get there. They just got to hold firm. Raise Bull. Last hope here in game 4. High ball. Someone got bumped off the net, and it's taken down. Oxygen tied up.
Wow, and this really poses the question with that missed first shot out of Archie. You know, have Oxygen just been too shot orientated? Have they been focused too much on putting as many shots on target instead of just developing the play downfield? Because that's what ended up helping out Oxygen in their dire moments to get back in the series.
Now, they really adjusted to the way that Complexity were trying to drive on the field. That control, the stutter steps, constantly making you second guess on the 50-50. Like AJG, how many times did he just look like he was going to go fast and then he would just and save all of his boost and wait for Oxygen to get there and then drive right through them? And then Oxygen, how do they respond? The exact thing. Oh, fine, we'll slow it down too. Let's see how slow we can make this game go.
The facilitator of that, it has been Jorius. I feel like he's been dribbling so much more in this situation. When he's downfield, he looks for a soft first touch. It buys time for everybody to rotate forward. And they're taking and stealing that strategy from Complexity and one-upping them as they have finally tied up this series. We might go the distance.
This has been the flow of this game is.
It's weird. It feels different.
Yeah, like you're usually used to a pace be kind of like a small spectrum of slow to fast, but we went from almost a snail's pace where everyone's trying to outthink each other to a quick attack out of nowhere. And Oxygen trying to get it done now. Who takes this series to match point? That was a nail-biter of a game 4. Now Complexity playing well overall. They've had opportunities, but that Oxygen defense in game 4, that had to have been the difference.
Look at that dribble. This is what I'm talking about, that control. from this orange squad has mostly been on him. And then it sets up Archie for a solo play. While he's not going to get a goal to his name yet, it at least, applies pressure for Oxygen to move out. We'll see how Complexity decide to adapt to things. Ixo, this could be a double tap, and Raise Bull, uncharacteristic miss.
Ixo just fully went for it. He said, screw it, I'm in position.
I don't even know if he expected the miss. He saw Raise Bull on the backboard. Do you even think he's going to touch a ball right there?
Nice demo for space. Gives Ixo another chance. Just wanted a big 50. Now he gets the boost steal. Gonna put Complexity off rhythm just a bit. Explosion for Archie just yet. Oxygen building up pressure. Jorius pushing defenders out of net. Razebull trying to prevent Oxygen from pushing forward. Ooh, Razebull slows it down.
Look at this pace, Jorby. Look at it.
That's what the whole series has been.
It has been a battle. Not a mechanics.
I'm a slug. Like,
this is ridiculous. Both teams love to slow it down, and neither of them have been trying to outpace the other. It's been all about strategy and those small moments that really make up this series.
Wow, AJG still got a piece of that. Just got it perfectly out to the corner. Oh, Ixo. Wow. Saw exactly where AJG was sitting. AJG or CRR initially. Now Archie puts it over him, and this is all because of Ixo in the corner, creating negative space for Oxygen, and they just suck all the air out of Complexity's half.
Well, with how slow this game has started out, you can understand why a pinch would catch that second man off guard. They expect it to be a slow, controlled dribble, controlled approach out of their own half, but Ixo says, let's just bring some chaos onto the field and pinch it to the other side.
It can be so effective in a game where we're talking about H-Team trying to slow it down even more. Right, if you change the pace at the right time, you will catch them out. Oxygen catch Complexity out this time.
So maybe we need some more magic from Complexity. Something a little more rough and dirty. And how about this shot from CRR?
Kind of dirty. CRR just steals it from Ixo, pops it to the field, fakes the touch and gets underneath him. That is 100% dirty.
Now that's what we wanted. More from Complexity. CRR, he's been on the backboard of his own half what feels like the entire series, but once he gets an opportunity, he's getting flashy with it.
Another catch. Oh, CRR, my goodness.
And
he's going for it. Get the bump.
Oh
my God. Whoa, CRR turned into a monster here for a second.
Such a quick response too, Jorby. Razebull could explode himself at any given moment. Archie not fast enough. Good bounce, but not in front of the net. Complexity setting up a siege on the Oxygen half.
Another soft touch for CRR, looking for El Toro. That's all they get for now. CRR will not leave that play. Hope for a boost maybe. But as long as Oxygen sees CRR, they gotta respect him. Another clear. Can they get the follow-up?
He's got a double.
Sees the space. Here he goes. But again, you gotta do a little bit more on this Oxygen defense. CRR the pass, taken away again. This time it's Ixo on the back line. And the last, 4 minutes of gameplay, he's not letting them in.
It's also been Jorius stoic on the goal line downfield. Ixo forced two of them in an awkward spot. Archie wanted the backboard read. He's still getting a touch on it. Somehow, some way. That almost made the difference for Oxygen.
The chances they're getting on low boost on these touches still making it look threatening, and that one comes off the post. I think CRR meant to let it go because he clears that out hard. You just give it back to Oxygen. So if it's a whiff, you're happy you missed it.
Wait, okay.
Whoa, oh my gosh.
I think everybody's looking for boost. This awkward slow play.
They're trying to fake touches. You're going to fake your teammates out eventually. Or maybe they're just faking us
I think that third man just a little bit too slow on the rotation, but it doesn't matter. Still all tied up. 1:11 on the clock. And right now they're making a wish. It's AJG smacking through.
Pulling out the rocket launcher. 85 kilometers per hour. CRR another perfect pass. And AJG, what else can you say about the shot?
Just felt like it was a matter of time before CRR had presented his teammates with an opportunity that they just could not pass up. That man has been doing so much work on the field by himself. He got that first goal, and now he's setting up the second one.
Oxygen, who have been getting pressured by Complexity for the last minute or so, have to find a way to get that offensive rhythm back. Jory is next up. That touch just over AJG, but it's not enough to keep possession. Ixo's forced back, used all of his boost to do it. Razebull pops it up over one. Carry his position for Ixo. He's got space, he's got boost, but AJG does not care. He's playing the win. Razebull, oh, the soft touch. Still gonna play it. Just got to touch out, but AJG puts it up high again. Archie getting bumped on his way back. Is that gonna matter? Trying to cut rotation, and oh, that one's in! CRR takes him up by 2!
Joreuz not expecting this initial shot from the midfield. CRR just cuts in early, and Joreuz thought maybe Archie was getting the touch, or at least they get pushed into the corner. But it's just an eager approach from Complexity that grants them some security, and it looks like we might get that match point.
Oxygen, they have anything, they get one!
Maybe not.
A nice 50 on the break, and here we go, 17 seconds to get some creativity in.
And that's a way to redeem yourself. I like that first approach from Razebull. He wanted to fake it, but it's a pinch coming out right in front of the net. How many times has that happened in this series where that third man just doesn't expect the pace of the ball to increase?
How many times has Razebull tried to fake that touch? Archie didn't bite this time. So he said, fine, you want to play that way? I'm just going to keep diving into the ball. Now with 10 seconds, Oxygen. Can they take this back?
Out.
Can they tie it up? CRR's just too quick. Another soft touch. They got to go high. They got to go fast. But Complexity put them on the ground. One more to go for Complexity.
They can taste the 2-0 record in the Swiss stage right now. The favorites in the wild card. So many people had this team coming out easily as a 3-0 option. Oxygen have definitely made the case for them to push through and go 3-0 themselves, but right now they're facing a monster.
Think about 2 mistakes that Oxygen made earlier on. We might be talking about like 3-1 Oxygen, or they might be the ones 3-2. Now back in game 5, you know, Joreuz, as he was pushing up, he was definitely expecting Archie to make that touch, right? But those, like, that is literally the exact situation that has burned Oxygen in every single game they have lost.
Just expecting something different. And how many times has Complexity been the one to take a left turn when they're supposed to go right, throwing the illusion out? And we do also have a timeout called for, I believe, Oxygen moving forward, which means they're going to get an extra 60 seconds. Snasky back there is going to do some work. Hopefully implement something that could make the difference out of Oxygen. I don't even know what you would say at this moment. I think it just comes down to reading the play, understanding the game a little bit better. And Complexity have done a great job of hiding their intentions, Jorby.
I just don't think there's much for Oxygen to get too down about.
Yeah.
It's really small things that are keeping them from driving this series.
I mean, like that play from Joreuz, just expecting Archie to get a touch.
Like that play from Archie in game 3, where you turn upfield instead of turning back to net. We've hammered it home as we pan over Bob's Ramen, the best ramen shop in Neo Tokyo. Look at him. Bob's just a happy guy.
He's feasting.
Those noodles. He's great.
He's feasting.
And I want to eat that ramen, honestly.
And listen,
look at that. What?
Jorby, they can't see the ramen right now.
They're
looking at the people watching can only see Complexity.
Like,
You're the one looking at Bob's ramen.
Psionics, thank you so much for creating Bob and his ramen.
Okay. I guess.
Look, he's dizzy from how tasty it is. He's literally dizzy from how tasty that ramen is, bro. Like, he's never tasted soy sauce so good.
Jorby,
look at him.
Can you just understand that nobody else can see Bob right now? The viewers can't see Bob.
Oh,
there it is.
No,
it's
I'm
connected.
looking at the wrong monitor.
Thank you.
And,
okay.
Oh, shout out to our observer who was like zooming in and out.
There it is.
There you are, Bob.
There it is.
Let's go.
Coming out. And maybe Bob can bring some inspiration to Oxygen, because right now they certainly need it. Extra 60 seconds to calm the nerves. Jorby's losing his mind. I have not completely lost it yet. And we'll get into game 6.
Only slightly embarrassing. Restart Neo Tokyo. Joreuz light touch. CRR, to me, has been the difference maker.
Yeah.
Really,
and it's on both sides of the field, Jorby.
Yeah.
I mean, the man has been just unbreakable on the backboard. Then he moves up, can go for a solo play, create opportunities by himself, get the goal by himself, but also come through with the passing.
What?
Who's going to take charge now for Oxygen? It looks like it's going to be Ixo.
Absolutely beautiful carry here from Ixo. Gives himself the reset, beats the first defender, pitches it 180 degrees to the right, makes it easy sauce for Joreuz to put it in.
And that's the best step you can take after a timeout. You come through and you 1v3.
That's exactly what Oxygen needed for the energy. Now they got to hold on to it because they got to stop this our complexity offense for 4+ minutes. You know they're going to show you all kinds of looks, or maybe give you none when you get deleted.
Archie's up early.
They have the shot. Raisable got there.
That's very reminiscent of the first few games. Free jumps from Archie, moving down the other side. How can you set up this player who is a beast, a force to be reckoned with against Power? He also came through striking, but things have shifted here from Oxygen. We're not talking too much about Archie. It's been Ixo.
Oh, this time, CRR comes across. AJG still turning around in net. Nobody goes for it. As soon as Raisable touches that ball, you see CRR swing out, but AJG still rotating back into net. I think CRR is expecting AJG to get up for that challenge as he swings across, but a weird gap opened up for Oxygen. And credit to it, they nailed it. Now AJG tries to get Complexity going, but that is a massive goal for Oxygen.
An abysmal start for Complexity. Their defense absolutely scrambling. Offense looks like it's scrambling too, with a backflip from Raisable, where he could have had an opportunity. And here comes Jorius.
Ixo got the read on the bounce, got another touch. A lot of clean reads from Ixo in the back half of this series. Again, he's never really the front man of this team. Not that he ever has to be. Has always been the gap filler. And he's just always been...
Look at the speed from... What?
Whoa! Oh my gosh. Wait a minute, he gets bumped out of the way. Wait a minute.
That is ridiculous.
How is that in?
You should not be allowed to go this fast in this game. Look at CRR on this play. You see how fast he just dusted the entire defense of Oxygen. I think he's using some different type of boost, Torby.
That dude's trying to break the supersonic barrier. Might be physically impossible in this video game, but CRR will certainly make you question it.
That is ridiculous stuff from Complexity as they've gotten back into this game, but for how long? Because Jorius going for a sneaky flick.
Oh, Raisable pitches that off the crossbar. But Oxygen aren't letting up here. Whatever Snasky said in the timeout, it's working.
But we're coming up on the halftime in Game 6. While Oxygen have looked lights out, Complexity have been able to keep it close and keep it within 1. And there's plenty of time to adjust.
I mean, like, that ball was pushed into CRR hard, and he still gets the perfect catch. If the ball doesn't skirt away from him, and then he could just carry it out beyond the midfield line. They gotta get a little bit more done. It can't just be CRR creating those gaps. Raisable trying to find a way in, but he loses that 50. Now Archie with a little bit of control. Raisable trying to turn around on it. He's actually given some space, but he flips over the ball, and Complexity's potential counterattack is slowed down.
But you hope for Oxygen they don't get too eager. Moving forward, CRR, another illusion thrown at the defense of Oxygen. Midfield controlled by Complexity. Haven't gotten a shot yet. They are getting demos. And off the backboard, nobody's there for the follow-up.
Nice catch again from CRR. It almost feels like Complexity's Game 6 is fully in his wheels. Dictated by where his bumper puts the ball. Ixo, what has he got? Been effective in the middle of that rotation.
Immediately denied.
Raisable's getting faster. Oh, Joria's not dropping that.
There we go.
Just dropping it to Archie.
And they're just hoping to get a 1v1 play, a solo from Oxygen. They don't want to send more than one player forward. And why would you? When you've got the lead, but if you're dealing with Complexity, one player isn't enough. They're gonna weave between you.
Brilliance here from Complexity. Jory is frozen, he tries to cut the route, and AJG hits him from behind. Archie turns up, he sees Jory is going for it, thinking, I gotta cut the inside of this. Ixo's still rotating back, but that negative pass from AJG completely froze any kind of position that Oxygen could have had. What a play.
And now Oxygen are going to have to send more than one player. It's a solo attempt from Jorius again. Still not enough, but the follow-up is that much better.
You know, you need the first touch, you need the first set, but you need that follow-up as well. And Jorius throws that out. Looked like he had the boxing glove out for that one a little bit. Just punched it towards the box.
And that's great recognition from Ixo, too. I don't think initially he would have gone up because they were playing so passive when they had the lead. And there he is, knowing that things are all tied up, knowing their backs are against the wall. You have to get aggressive and put those opportunities away.
CRR puts it up. AJG gets the dunk onto Archie. Jorius blow through one. So looking for Jorius again. Complexity giving Oxygen a lot of space.
Yeah.
They want that counter. They only got about 30 seconds left. Archie tries to kick it up. AJG's already downfield, but it's a high ball. Nothing he can play with.
Raisbull, he knows it's a time-pressured pursuit for Complexity. 20 on the clock to go. Something has to change. They want the counterattack. You were talking about it, Jorby. And they might be able to start something, but Jorius has been in their face.
AJG looking for a way out, but there doesn't seem to be one. CRR deletes Ixo. Is that enough? They get the catch out. Raisbull underneath. Raisbull crushed it, but he couldn't find a way past Jorius. Now Jorius just has to put the ball on the ground. We go to Champions Field.
Going the distance, Complexity and Oxygen. It took a while to get things moving. The pace has certainly increased, but it's been pretty exponential. We started out slow, but things are finally starting to fire up.
Complexity struggles on offense, keeping that play going. It really feels like at times it's only CRR who's getting the value. And then you see flashes where AJG and Raisbull, they break through, but then other times they're losing the 50s. And it feels like CRR is the only guy getting value on the ball, where, sure, Raisbull and AJG, they're doing their work off the ball. The positioning is fine, but as Complexity, call this timeout. Try to figure out.
No, there's no timeout.
Excuse me.
There's no timeout.
They don't want it.
They want to go
right
back in, okay? We're not wasting another 60 seconds, Jorby. Have you seen what's going on? And I think that proves and shows us where the mental is of Complexity. They know that they are right there competing with Oxygen. This was not a blowout of a game by far, by any means. And it could be a difference of just one player. You thought it was going to be CRR, who's been making the biggest impact out of Complexity. Definitely the whole series, but somebody else needs to match that. I mean, we've gotten some highlight performances from Archie, but you know who else has matched that? Ixo, as of late. Ixo won them that game in my mind, especially with that starting performance. But everything can crumble in Game 7, or everything can excel. Oxygen start out strong again.
A whiff on the backboard from Complexity. AJG usually clinical in that exact spot. Archie gets the goal, and Oxygen, it takes 5 seconds. Momentum is theirs.
While it might not be a 4-0 that Archie predicted, they have found themselves confidently controlling the past 2 games, and into Game 7, they've also started out with all of the pace.
Worth noting that Archie this week has been dealing with migraines and painful headaches. He talked in the pregame interview about wanting to get those headaches sorted after this series. Imagine getting them sorted after a dub. Raisbull gonna try to start it out here for Complexity.
I did see an opportunity just there, where I think it was AJG. I don't know what's happened here with the mechanics. The striking from Complexity has been very hit or miss. And I'm not quite used to it. Could just be the pressure that Oxygen have been able to apply. Look at the 1v1 attempt from Archie, as it's a perfect midfield 50-50 that then goes in favor of the orange side.
Passing play to Raisbull, back to AJG. AJG back to the corner, looking for Raisbull. Pot shot, not enough. CRR just a little off the line of the ball. Now he has to buy time for Complexity. Tries to get back. Jorius is making it difficult.
Solo.
Archie trying to drill through. And Oxygen break out.
Looks like Oxygen have embraced that pinch playstyle, that chaotic playstyle where they want to force awkward 50-50s, weird touches off the ground, off the sidewall, to put Complexity in a position where they can't get back in time. And right now, they hold the lead. They've got all the control.
Ixo only made that a little easier for AJG. CRR, the catch, but Archie's got him downloaded. Are not able to have as much effectiveness trapping that ball. And you talked about Ixo and his effectiveness, but how about CRR and the dunks? He gets the goal for Complexity and continues to keep them in the series.
He's been doing it all series long, Jorby. He had that entire play downloaded in his head. He knew how it was gonna go. Jumped in the time machine. He comes out with the dunk of potentially the series. Complexity battle back.
One high up here for CRR. He gets a perfect read, but wanted the bounce shot Didn't work out. Now Oxygen the other way, and Ixo flies right into Complexity's net.
Still following that same trend that he set in the last game, being the difference maker for Oxygen. AJT was under pressure. A potential demo came through out of Oxygen, applied that physical play where he has to stay on the ground, has to dodge it first, get that out of the way before he can even think about getting a save.
You don't always have to get the bump. You just have to be threatening enough. And that was just enough to keep AJG off of his path. A typically clothesline defender. He's been getting pushed off his line. Now Razebull, he can't set it up, he just doesn't have boost.
Oxygen, they have been so great at changing the focus for Complexity. Changing where these players on the blue side have to read the play and where they have to look. Splitting up the attention, and CRR wants to do it. Almost a disaster as Archie had to hit the brakes on the ball off the crossbar and out.
Well, if that was a game 2, it would have went into Oxygen's net. But apparently not on Champions Field. CRR wins a big 50 in midfield. Gets the catch. He's still going. He's still going. He will not quit. 2-2.
This man just doesn't know when to give up. CRR past 1. Perfect control from the sidewall, and past 2. Back-to-back goals for this man out of Complexity, and he's tied his team up.
2 minutes left to go. This is just for 2-0 in Swiss. But it's been so tight. You know, every series, it still matters. And Oxygen, how about the story for them if they somehow come out of this 2-0? Archie getting it across. Ixo playing tight with Jorius, who has been so effective in that assist role. Now AJG, nothing for him, dunked again. CRR trying to protect the rock. Archie sends it across. Ixo diving. Archie gets another chance at it. He actually wins it, almost gets the dunk, but El Toro breaks out. AJG keeps it going.
Game 5 feels like it's been CRR versus Ixo. Who can cause and wreak more havoc? Maybe a different player will step up on either side. It could be any one of these 6 players on this field at any given moment. But who will take that risk? Extend forward. Who's gonna bite the bullet?
Oh, nice soft touch from Ixo. Moves down again. It's up to CRR on the back end. Flips out, and he doesn't get it. Now Jorius gets a benefit of a touch. Rotation still trying to figure itself out for Oxygen. She at least delays the counter. Razebull got that demo, and that would have opened the gap. But Oxygen, they stymie the attack just long enough. The player respawns, they can get to the 50, but they're still in some trouble. And Razebull wins the first time. It's up underneath. The net is there, but CRR can't find it. Razebull tried to get there too. And Complexity, the Oxygen net's closed. Archie, he's just sitting on the ground. They're beating him at Complexity's own game. CRR gets bodied out of the way, but the whole Oxygen rotation was on the other side of the field. Now the counter. Here comes El Toro. One more drive. 2.
Where's the follow?
Go, no, he blocked it. Archie gets in the way again.
The guardian angel for Oxygen, and he's pushing down the other side. He got the goal line safe. Everybody had committed. He was the only one standing, and he's kept them alive.
Archie, not a good 50 for him. AJG gets it downfield. Game 7 overtime.
Game 7 OT, baby. This is what we wanted out of this series. It's been ramping up. And of course, I think we all expected after the first few games. Let's get into it.
Jorius getting over it. The whole desk had Complexity. Most people at home had Complexity, but Oxygen fought their way to Game 7. And now they start overtime on offense. Archie, high pass. Ixo, high ball. He still keeps it close. Ixo just gonna stay close to the play. Allows Jorius to come, or Archie to come back in. Oh, and AJG gets a cheeky touch on the flip, but he just doesn't have boost. Archie gonna keep it close again. Oh, and it's just over Ixo's head, but he gets a slight bump.
Razebull,
that leaves Jorius all by himself.
Jorius has to get a touch.
And he gets dusted by El Toro. Complexity survive.